What is the meaning of linguistic diversity? So basically, language is a tool used by people to communicate with one another as a part of a culture. Language helps people to stick together and do things that they could not have done as individuals. Linguistic diversity is a way to talk about varied types of traits including language, family, grammar, and vocabulary. Why is it important for teachers to reflect on cultural and linguistic diversity? It is important for teachers to reflect upon cultural and linguistic diversity so that they are culturally competent, as well as delivering the curriculum in a way that is culturally appropriate. It is the teacher's job to ensure that all students achieve, whether they are the cultural majority or minority. Role of teacher in dealing with linguistic diversity in the classroom. Such instruction also acknowledges the important role of culture in language and literacy learning. Understanding and respecting the array of different cultures and languages represented in their classrooms helps educators adopt strategies for teaching literacy and will encourage support and student achievement. Effective literacy instruction built upon the cultural and linguistic backgrounds, ways of making meaning, and prior knowledge that all children bring to the classroom. Such instruction also acknowledges the important role of culture in language and literacy learning. Understanding and respecting the array of different cultures and languages represented in the classrooms helps educators adopt strategies for teaching literacy that will encourage and support students' achievement. In other words, it is important to know the student as it is important to know the subject matter. Here are 6 types of knowledge you can develop and help your learners succeed in your classroom. Learn about your own culture. Become aware of how the influence of your own culture, language, social interests, goals, cognitions, and values could prevent you from learning how you could best teach your students of culturally and linguistically diverse backgrounds. Also, understanding and respecting your own cultural roots can help you respect your students' cultural roots. 2. Learn about your students' culture. Understand how your students' cultures affect their perceptions, self-esteem, values, classroom behavior, and learning. Use that understanding to help your students feel welcomed, affirmed, respected, and valued. 3. Understand your students' linguistic traits. Learn how students' patterns of communication and various dialects affect their classroom learning, how second language learning affects the acquisition of literacy. 4. Use this knowledge to inform your teaching. Let your knowledge of your students' diverse cultures inform your teaching. This, along with a sincerely caring attitude, increases student participation and engagement. 5. Use multicultural books and materials to foster cross-cultural understanding. Sensitively use multicultural literature, especially children's literature, to honor students' culture and foster cross-cultural understanding. Be open to a variety of instructional strategies as students' cultures may make certain strategies, such as competitive games or getting students to volunteer information, uncomfortable for them. 6. Know about your students' home and school relationships. Collaborate with parents and caregivers on children's literacy development and don't rely on preconceived notions of the importance of literacy within students' families. Acquiring this rich store of knowledge may seem overwhelming, but whatever investment you make will be well worth the time and effort. Make it a career-long goal to build your knowledge bases a little piece at a time. At the very least, notice how your students with diverse backgrounds react differently to various language and literacy teaching strategies and be willing to modify your approach to find mutual success between you and the student. I now leave you with the following quote. If you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. If you talk to him in his own language, that goes straight to his heart. By Nelson Mandela.